Paulie D here, and this is your weekly buzz. We did one last night, but my good friend Nick forgot to turn the microphone on. We all make mistakes. It was a bogus one anyways. I didn't have any energy. Probably a blessing to you guys, because you'd probably rather see me in a more sedate mood. But this buzz is why the California Jam. Let's go back into my soggy 70 brain and explain to you. I went to this event called California Jam when I was a kid, and there was like 250,000 people at this event, and I was just amazed that that many people would get together for just a huge rock and roll festival. And it was a festival that was not only music, but you felt a lot of love, and it was kind of hippie time back then. Yeah, that's actually when I used to have hair. But then as I morphed in chiropractic, I remember let's let this cop go by. Thank you. I went to DE, and that's what really changed my chiropractic life forever, and I'm so grateful to Sid Williams and the DE movement. But I would go to those meetings, and I would go, dude, the only thing that would take me to the next level is if there was like some metal crunch behind the whole, chiropractic philosophy. And, I've always been a music guy. I love music. In fact, our theme this year is G&R, not Guns N' Roses like you would think. It's all about guitars and roses. We'll get to that in a minute. But then I also kind of had this thought. It's like we always have these chiropractic gatherings, and we all get together as chiropractors, and we already all know this stuff, and we get fired up and motivated. But I said, I would think to myself, well, why wouldn't we bring the general public to one of these meetings and make it so it's, you don't want to have chiropractic babble for 2 days. So that's why my vision with CalJam is why it is and where it's at. And we'll get to that in a second as well. But I want you to understand that this whole thing with the music and the speakers and bringing the general public to things, we're starting out small. We're at 3,000. But then in CalJam, mark my words, next year will be the biggest chiropractic event on the planet. Show me something bigger. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that this thing is catching fire because it friggin' rocks. Okay, so here's what we're at 3,000 right now. I want to morph out to 10,000, 25,000, 50,000. And it's only a matter of time. And all it takes is a little cash. Cash, money, dough. And that's been actually better every year, too, because a lot of times people in the beginning, when we first had CalJam, they didn't know what the heck it was. But now that it's going to be the biggest event in chiropractic, it's not hard to find sponsors. But if you know people that would be great sponsors, we're looking at some killer, huge sponsors outside the chiropractic profession. Money is not an issue to these big companies, and that's where we're going to go with it. And then when we have the money, we can get bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then we can get bands like the Black Crowes, or whoever you want to see. Those are kind of two of my, Tom Petty or Wilco too would be cool. And then we plug in Chestnut, whether you love them, hate them. People love and hate me too. That's okay. And then we plug in a Dispenza, we plug in a Gentempo, and then we plug in a Tampani, and then we plug in a Mercola. Did I say that already? And then we plug in, we got a huge list of speakers. And I want people to come and get the unadulterated chiropractic story. And that was one of my other whole visions with this CalJam thing. I wanted to make sure that we preserve the philosophy of this great profession. Keep it pure! Keep those druggies out. I went to chiropractic school because I hated drugs. I was totally against the whole medical establishment. And now you're buddying up with those friggin' schmucks? Come on, man. I don't bring that stuff into my profession. Go start your own dope dealing profession if you don't like the way chiropractic is. Get the hell out is what I say. So, yeah, that's why we have an amazing lineup of speakers. And most of the chiropractic stuff's going to be on Friday. And then, and I want people to get the spiz, the chiropractic spiz. And we've got, we got Dave Jackson and Tony Ebel that's really going to be pumping the pediatrics portion of it. And then I've got, Jennifer Floriani is going to be doing some pediatric stuff. And I've got Dan Murphy, and I've got, who else? Chestnut. Dan Murphy's going to be doing some nutrition stuff. With Michael Dobbins is going to be doing some nutrition stuff. I want Chestnut to really hit the neurology of the chiropractic subluxation. I mean, I've got a method to my madness here, and then I've got Sherry Tenpenny coming in. We're going to talk about vaccines. We're going to blow up vaccines. I mean, the thing is, you can censor this stuff as long as you want, but when you have a huge uncensored media like California Jam in a rock and roll festival, it's going to be hard to contain the message. And you know, the world's ready. The world's waking. I mean, all the workshop I've been doing in my office have been just literally packed, and people come in droves because they're sick and they're burnt out on the system. They're burnt out on all the drugs and the dope and the sickness and the disease that is just rampant in society, because we're thinking our health comes from outside in. So it's about time they get the story. And I also think one of the other main reasons that CalJam is why we do it is because it's okay to celebrate, especially with some of your best friends on the planet. Some of the most successful chiropractors in the world will be at CalJam. And we celebrate our love for our great purpose. We celebrate the fact that we're colleagues in the coolest profession that's ever been on planet Earth. And if this is something that you feel like, you feel congruent with, and you have it resonates with you, then come to CalJam. And if it doesn't resonate with you, go to the taping seminar or go to the big Florida convention where they're trying to bring dope in. But the thing is, there's no way you can compare to the passion that we have for saving lives when you're trying to change this profession into a drug peddling ugly stepchild of medicine. So I'm going to sign off. CalJam next year is February 28th, March 1st and 2nd. Did I mention we'll have 3 live bands there with live videos? We're really taking the seminar experience and changing it into a life-changing rock and roll festival with great speakers, and you even get 18 hours of relicensure if you want it. I mean, I don't see why you should get it to go to some bogus seminar. Why not come to a real seminar? Sometimes people go, I think it's bad that you make seminars exciting and fun. Go to the boring, dry ones. Go ahead. Where all the guys are in the back on their friggin', the cops are coming again, man. I think they're coming to get me. All the chiropractors, go to the boring ones. They're all in the back on their computers watching porno. They don't do that at CalJam. They're freaking tied in because what we got going on is exciting, it's fresh, it's new, it's rock and roll, and whether you like it or not, we're taking this message to the world. Signing off, Billy D for our Guitars and Roses